Yeah. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 19, Text 21 to 40. Sarve vayam tavad ihasmahetha kalevaram yavadaso vihaya lokam param virajaksham Vishokam yasytyayam bhagavata pradhanaha.
Hare Krishna everyone. Translation. We shall all wait here until the foremost devotee of the Lord, Maharaj Parikshit, returns to the supreme planet, which is completely free from all mundane contamination and all kinds of lamentation.
Text 22. Ashrutya tadrishi ganavacha parikshit samam madhuchyut gurum cha vyalekam abhashatainam abhinandya yuktan shushrushamanascharitanni vishnaha.
All that was spoken by great sages was very sweet to hear, full of meaning and appropriately presented as perfectly true. So after hearing them, Maharaj Parikshit, desiring to hear of the activities of Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead, congratulated the great sages.
Text 23. Samadata sarvata eva sarve veda yathamurti dharashtri prishthe nehathana mudra chakashchanatha rite paranugrahamatmashilam.
The king said, O great sages, you have all very kindly assembled here. Having come from all parts of the universe, you are all as good as supreme knowledge personified who resides in the planet above the three worlds, Satyaloka. Consequently, you are naturally inclined to do good to others, and but for this you have no interest either in this life or in the next.
Text 24. Tatashchava pritchamimam vipriche vishrabhya vipra iti krityatayam sarvatmanam riyamanaischa krityam shuddham cha tatramrishatabhiyuktaha.
O trustworthy Brahmanas, I now ask you about my immediate duty. Please, after proper deliberation, tell me of the unalloyed duty of everyone in all circumstances, and specifically of those who are just about to die.
Text 25. Tatra bhavat bhagavan vyasaputro yadrichaya gamatamanunapekshah alakshyalingo nijalabhatushto vritascha baler avadhuta veshaha.
At that moment, there appeared the powerful son of Vasudev, who traveled over the earth, disinterested and satisfied with himself. He did not manifest any symptoms of belonging to any social order or status of life. He was surrounded with women and children, and he dressed as if others had neglected him.
Text 26. Tam dvashtavarsham sukumarapada karorubhavam shakapolagatram Charvayataksho nasatulyakarna subhrevarnanam kambusujatakantham.
This son of Vasudev was only 16 years old. His legs, hands, thighs, arms, shoulders, forehead, and the other parts of his body were all delicately formed. His eyes were beautifully white, and his nose and ears are highly raised. He had a very attractive face, and his neck was well formed and beautiful like a conch shell.
Text 27. Nididhajatram prithutunga आवर्तनाभिं वलिवला फल्गदरं च दिगम्बरं वक्त्रविकीर्णकेशं प्रलम्बबाहुं स्वमरोत्तमाभम्.
His collarbone was fleshy, his chest broad and thick, his navel deep, and his abdomen beautifully striped. His legs were long, and curly hair was strewn over his beautiful face. He was naked, and the hue of his body reflected that of Lord Krishna.
Text 28. Shyamam sadapi vyavayodalakshmya strina manogyam ruchirasmitena प्रत्युत्थितास्ते मुनयः स्वसनेभ्यः तल्लक्षणज्ञा अपि गुरुवर्चसम्.
He was blackish and very beautiful due to his youth, because of the glamour of his body and his attractive smiles. He was pleasing to women, though he tried to cover his natural glories. The great sages present there were all expert in the art of physiognomy, and so they honored him by raising from their seats.
Text 29. सविष्णुरातो तिथया अगत्ताय तस्मै सपर्यां शिरसा जधार ततो निवृत्ता ह्यबुधा स्त्रियोर्भका महासने सोपविशेषपूजितः.
Maharaj Brixit, who is also known as Vishnurata, one who is always protected by Vishnu, bowed his head to receive the chief guest, Sukadev Goswami. At that time, all the ignorant women and boys ceased following Srila Sukadev. Receiving respect from all, Sukadev Goswami took his exalted seat.
Text 30. Sasamri ससंवृतस्तत्र महान् महिषयां ब्रह्मर्षि राजर्षि देवर्षि सङ्घै व्यरोचतालं भगवान् यथेन्दुर्ग्रहर्क्षतारानिकरैः परितः.
Sukhdev Goswami was then surrounded by saintly sages and demigods, just as the moon is surrounded by stars, planets, and other heavenly bodies. His presence was gorgeous, and he was respected by all.
Text 31. प्रशान्तमासिनमकुण्ठमेधसां मुनिं नृपो भागवतोऽभ्युपेत्य प्रणम्य मूर्ध्वानभितकृताञ्जलिर्नत्वा गिरासुनृत्ययान् पपृच्छत्.
The sage Sri Sukhdev Goswami sat perfectly pacified, intelligent, and ready to answer any questions without hesitation. The great devotee Maharaj Parikshit approached him, offered his respects by bowing before him, and politely inquired with sweet words and folded hands.
Text 32. Parikshituvacha अहो अद्य वयं ब्रह्मन् सत्सेव्यक्षत्रबन्धवः कृपया तिथिरूपेण भवद्भिस्तीर्थकाः कृतः.
The fortunate King Parikshit said, O Brahmanas, by your mercy only, you have sanctified us, making us like unto places of pilgrimage. By all by your presence here as my guest. By your mercy, we, who are but unworthy royalty, become eligible to serve the devotee.
Text 33. Yesham samsmaranat pumsam sadya shuddhanti griha kim punar darshana sparsha padashocha sanadibhi.
Simply by our remembering you, our houses become instantly sanctified. And what to speak of seeing you, touching you, washing your holy feet, and offering you a seat in our home.
Text 34. Sanidhyate mahayogin patakani mahantyapi satyo nashyanti vai pumsam vishnuriva suretaraha.
Just as the atheist cannot remain in the presence of the personality of Godhead, so also the invulnerable sins of a man are immediately vanquished in your presence, O saint, O great mystic.
Text 35. Api me bhagavan pritaha Krishna pandu sutta priyaha Paitrashvasya pitryatham tadgotrasyata bandhavaha.
Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is very dear to the sons of King Pandu, has accepted me as one of those relatives just to please his great cousins and brothers.
Text 36. Anyatha te vyakdagater darshanam na katham nrinam nitaram riyamananam samsiddhasya vaniyasaha.
Otherwise, without being inspired by Lord Krishna, how is it that you have voluntarily appeared here, though you are moving incognito to the common man and are not visible to us who are on the verge of death?
Text 37. Ataha prichhami samsiddhim yoginam paramam gurum purushyaseha yat karyam mriyamanasya sarvatha.
You are the spiritual master of great saints and devotees. I am therefore begging you to show the way of perfection for all persons, and especially for one who is about to die.
Text 38. Yat shrotavyam atho japyam yat kartavyam nibi prabho smartavyam bhajaniyam va bruhi yat vapi varyayam.
Please let me know what a man should hear, chant, remember, and worship, and also what he should not do. Please explain all this to me.
That's 39. Nunam bhagavato brahman griheshu grihamedhinam nalakshate hyavasthanam apiko dohanam kvachit.
O powerful Brahmanas, it is said that you are hardly stay in the houses of men long enough to milk a cow.
Text 40. Sutta uvacha evam abhashitah prishtah saragya shlakshnaya gira pratyabhashata dharmakyo bhagavan padarayani.
Sri Sutta Goswami said, the king thus spoke and questioned the sage, using sweet language. Then the great and the powerful personality, the son of Vasudev, who knew the principles of religion, began his reply.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Sunita Mataji and Vrinda Devi Mataji, for that wonderful recitation.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Krishna Mataji. Okay, are the slides visible on the screen?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, great. So we'll recite the prayers and discuss today's verses. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agnanatimirandhasya Gnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parishana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Sha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Guru Deenatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Krishna Chaitanya Ishwaram. Om Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Shranvatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanah Rudyantaha Sthoha Bhadrani Vidunoti Suratsatam Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Satam Prasangan Mama Virya Samvidho Bhavanti Ritkarna Rasayana Katha Tajjoshanada Shvapavarga Vartmani Shraddha Ratir Bhaktiranukramishati. In the association of pure devotees, discussion of the pastimes and activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is very pleasing and satisfying to the ear and the heart. By cultivating such knowledge, one gradually becomes advanced on the path of liberation, and thereafter he is freed and his attraction becomes fixed. Then real devotion and devotional service begin. Such a wonderful verse. So, with your blessings and permission, we will try and discuss today. Now we have come on to the last part of the 19th chapter. That's the last chapter of first canto. And yes, it's my fortune to be amongst you all. And I am not qualified, but I always try my best for my own purification to speak something in glorification of Krishna. So my shortcomings can be reduced and I may get purified. So I need your blessings. So please bless me. And these three verses today we are going to discuss are very beautiful verses. Actually, they depict the humility and wisdom of Parikshit Maharaj. He is a Mahabhagavata and a great soul. and he's a descendant of a great dynasty. And we can see how he exhibits his humility, his wisdom when he is approaching and speaking to Shukdev Goswami. So before beginning to do that, I always like to go through few verses before and try and summarize so that we know, because it all connects nicely. So the chapter starts with, the chapter is titled The Appearance of Shukdev Goswami, and Maharaj Parikshit, in the beginning of 7 verses, we see that he regrets the mistake he made, and the mistake was putting the dead snake around the neck of Shamik Rishi, because he was extremely tired, he was exhausted, he was thirsty, he wanted some water, he felt neglected. But as we all know, Shamik Rishi was in a trance and he was meditating on the Lord. So, but thereafter, Parikshit Maharaj straight away totally acknowledges his mistake, what happened, he regrets. And thereafter, we know that Shamik Rishi's son, Shringi, will curse Parikshit Maharaj that he has got 7 days to live, and a snake called Takshaka will come and bite him, and that's how he will die. So he reflects upon his act, Parikshit Maharaj, and he not only expects a punishment, but he desires a punishment. And this is the way great souls respond to their mistake, that if I am punished, that I will not, then I will not repeat this mistake again. That is his view. That is his way of taking the punishment and not repeating it. And at the same time, we know, on the other hand, Shamik Rishi was also very much regretful. When he learned, when he came out of the trance, what his son had done, he was extremely embarrassed, actually, that how could my son do something to an innocent king? How could you give such an disproportionate curse? First of all, there is no such punishment. He is not liable to get any. But at the same time, this is such a disproportionate curse that his son has done this out of immaturity and misusing his Brahminical power. And thus Shamik Rishi is extremely embarrassed. He is very, very regretful of what his son did. So he sends Gaur Mukha to Parikshit Maharaj, one of his messengers, disciples, and informs him that this is what's happened. My son has cursed you and you have 7 days, so please do the needful. And being a Mahabhagavata, Parikshit Maharaj gets happy that, okay, this is the way, now I can renounce the kingdom, renounce all the duties, all the worldly duties of the royalty, leave the family, and actually go and completely dedicate myself in these 7 days to hear Krishna Katha from the sages. And he goes to the Ganges river, as we all know. And there is also one beautiful verse there in the glorification of Ganges river. And then Srila Prabhupada also explains about Yamuna river, how these rivers are so holy. And then all the great sages and thinkers, they all arrive there. The news spreads and they all come and arrive there on the bank of Ganges, and they sit down. And they all knew now a great thing is going to happen. They are all going to hear Krishna Katha. And this is the thing the devotees do. They get together and what they want to do is hear Krishna Katha. This is like the activity of the devotees of the Lord. They love to do this in association of devotees, hear Krishna Katha and enlighten each other. And this gives them the greatest joy and happiness, and it pleases the Lord at the same time. And thus, that's how Vyasdev has written Srimad Bhagavatam in such a way that it is a complete glorification of Krishna, his pastimes, his activities, so that all of us, after so many thousands of years, are sitting here and trying to discuss Krishna Katha, all because of Vyasdev and because of Parikshit Maharaj and Shukdev Goswami, because they discussed, we got Bhagavatam. And now in Kali Yuga, this is the greatest benediction, studying Srimad Bhagavatam, discussing pastimes and chanting the holy names of Krishna, because they are most purifying. And this is the easiest way in Kali Yuga to purify ourselves. And this is the great boon and benediction. That's why even the demigods want to take birth on earthly planet, because even though Kali Yuga is full of faults, there is this great boon that if we can somehow, immerse ourselves in hearing Krishna Katha and chanting holy names, then this is the easiest way to go back to Godhead. We don't need to do great tapasya or austerity like the sages used to do in the forest, go and stand on one leg, or for not eat anything, do great austerities, and completely focus the mind on the Lord, and that's how they would leave this planet to liberate. But we need not do that. It is also not possible in this yuga to focus the mind that way. But that is why Srimad Bhagavatam is filled with great stories actually and pastimes. They are so interesting. And through these pastimes, we actually learn how to respond to situations that arise in our life, especially speaking of me. Who needs daily reminder when such situations happen, because in Kali Yuga the great faults are our anarthas: anger, lust, greed, pride, arrogance, and all these come in our way, in the way of our bhakti. These are the obstacles. But if we discuss Hari Katha and remember how these great souls reacted when such situations also happened in their life, just now how Parikshit Maharaj is cursed, how he reacted or responded. He did not get angry, or he did not blame Krishna that you protected me in my mother's womb. What about now from this curse? Why not? But no, there is a complete surrender to Krishna. Yogakshemam vahamyaham. Whatever Krishna gives is for our benefit. It may not be palatable to us now that, oh, this happened to me, how can this be good for me? No, but Krishna has plans for everyone. So in this way, there are so many pastimes that we are on first canto, we will study together from second canto onwards, that so many other great souls and personalities will show us how to respond to situations in life and chant the holy names in a humble state of mind. Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishuna amani namanadena kirtaniya sadahare. Being humble, not expecting respect from others, giving respect to everyone, being tolerant like a tree. These are the three main qualities that we try and hold as carry as this kanthi mala we wear in our neck. And in that state of mind, we remind ourselves every day is a struggle to do that, but we do that. And when we do that together, then it becomes easy. Then we support each other. And that's why devotees association is extremely important. And talking about that, in this chapter, my favorite verse also comes. One of the favorite verses is 16th verse, the Punascha Bhuyat Bhagvatyanante Ratim Prasangas Tadashrayeshu Mahatsu Yamyam Upayami Shrishtim Maitriyastu Sarvatra Namo Dvijebhya. So this is what devotees do. What are their great aspirations in life? Are these three things only. If Krishna was to come and say, what do you want? Then most of us go to temple and we ask to stay in this material world, just wanting situations to be adjusted by Krishna for our comfort. And Krishna must be thinking, what shall I do to this, my devotee, my child, I could give you to come back to me, and you are asking me to sort out things to stay in this material world. You are asking something so like, you go to this wealthiest person and ask for 5 rupees. It's something like that, whereas he is ready to give you his entire treasure. That's why the devotees know what to ask Krishna. So he asks only these three things, which is attachment to hearing Krishna Katha, unlimited attachment to Lord Krishna. Then he wants to hear Krishna Katha in association of devotees, not on your own. And there is no fun, but when you are with devotees. And thirdly, he wants very friendly relations with everyone. And that is possible when we are not envious. So envy is the main issue in this world, lust, envy. And when we will be non-envious, then we can have very wonderful relations. Like when someone else progresses, for example, any devotee in his life, if we get very happy for that person, then Krishna will be very pleased with us. And at the same time, we will also be awarded such fortune automatically because we are wishing well for others. For example, Mother Yashoda had great fortune to dress Krishna, bathe Krishna, feed him. He was her son. And all the gopis of Vrindavan always admired Mother Yashoda's great fortune happily. And thus they were also bestowed the same fortune. We know that when Brahma Vimohan Leela happens for the one full year, Krishna was everybody's son living in every gopis house. And for one full year, they cared for Krishna as their own child. So the same boon is given to us. Thus, this is the thing to aspire and desire, that may I be non-envious, may I have good relations with everyone. And even in Bhagavatam, one of the verses, now I can't remember, it clearly says that one may have so many strategies to make friends with others, but the best strategy is to study Srimad Bhagavatam. Study and discuss Bhagavatam together. This is how you can make so many friends. And this is proven. So that's how. Now, that is the glory of Bhagavatam. And thereafter, we know what happens is Parikshit, he praises all the sages who are present there. And the sages praise Parikshit Maharaj. And this is also one very nice thing, that when the speaker of Bhagavatam speaks, then the listeners have a very humble and grateful mood, and they will praise the speaker, and the speaker praises the listeners by appreciating their questions, by being present there, giving opportunity to speak Hari Katha. Then Krishna Katha becomes very relishable when the speakers and hearer have this mood of gratitude for each other. Then it becomes very relishable, and this is the kind of etiquette that great devotees have amongst themselves, which we will see throughout Bhagavatam. We see Vidura will be so grateful to Uddhava, to Maitreya Muni. We will see how Vyasdev is grateful to Narad Muni. All the sages are grateful to Sutta Goswami. We will see throughout Bhagavatam. And this is, yes, so this is how it becomes very relishable. As Parikshit Maharaj praises the sages, and then Shukdev Goswami enters the assembly. And just now, as Mataji's read the shlokas, we heard the translation, how effulgent Shukdev Goswami is. A great devotee of the Lord enters the assembly. Everyone looks at him, and then he sits down. He gets an honorable reception. And then in this three verses today, 32, 33, 34, we will see that how Parikshit Maharaj, his humility and wisdom is exhibited in this verse. So verse 32, Parikshit Uvacha, Aho Adya Vayam Brahman Satsevya Shatrabandhavaha Krupaya Tithi Rupena Bhavadbhistirthaka Kritaha. Synonyms: Parikshit Uvacha. The fortunate Maharaj Parikshit said, Aho, Adya, today, Vayam, we, Brahman, O Brahmana, Satsevya, eligible to serve the devotee, Shatra, the ruling class, Bandhava, friends, Kripaya, by your mercy, Atithi Rupena, in the manner of a guest, Bhavadbhi, by your good self, Tirthaka, qualified for being places of pilgrimage, Krita, done by you. Translation and purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The fortunate King Parikshit said, O Brahmana, by your mercy only, you have sanctified us, making us like unto places of pilgrimage, all by your presence here as my guest. By your mercy, we who are but unworthy royalty become eligible to serve the devotee. So here we can see he says Aho Adya Vayam Brahman Satsevya Shatra Bandavaha. Parikshit Maharaj says that we are unqualified Kshatriya. Still, today we have got the opportunity to serve great devotee like you, Shukdev Goswami. So, with the great mercy, you have appeared as our guest, right? Kripya Tithi Rupena Bhavat Bistirthaka Kritaha. So, because of your mercy, you have appeared here as a guest, and we are unworthy royalty, and we have become eligible to serve you. So here we can see he calls himself Shatra Bandhava. This is the humility of Parikshit Maharaj. He downplays himself, his role, and he says that I am not qualified at all. But what happens is, what is mercy? Mercy is actually like prasad, right? When we say prasad is mercy of the Lord, that means that when we are not qualified and we get something, that is happens by the mercy of someone who is very compassionate. So Parikshit Maharaj very humbly says that I don't deserve your association, but by your mercy you have appeared here as my guest, and I'm extremely grateful. So here we can see how wise Parikshit Maharaj is, how humble he is, how he talks. And when we are humble, we get blessings of great souls. If we are arrogant, we will not get the blessings of great souls. So, humility is the first quality if we want blessings of pure devotees of the Lord, which is clearly exhibited by Maharaj Parikshit here. And there is a wonderful purport by Srila Prabhupada. If someone wants to read the first paragraph here, or I can read.
I can read.
Thank you, Mataji.
Saintly devotees like Sukdev Goswami generally do not approach worldly enjoyers, especially those in royal orders. Maharaj Pratapuradra was a follower of Lord Chaitanya, but when he wanted to see the Lord refused to see him because he was a king. For a devotee who desires to go back to Godhead, two things are strictly prohibited: worldly enjoyers and women. Therefore, devotees of the standard of Sukdev Goswami are never interested in seeing kings.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. So yes, here we can see that they have no interest. He is a saint, Shukdev Goswami. He is very happy going around and being so absorbed in his own meditation. He would just wherever he sit in samadhi and meditate on the Lord because of the pure state of mind. They can do that. There is no need for him to go to a king and speak Harikatha. But this is completely happening by his mercy. And of course, Parikshit Maharaj has earned this. We know that how great devotee he himself is. He has taken darshan of Lord in the womb of his mother. So we know that he is great descendant of Pandavas, and he has ruled the kingdom very justly throughout his life, and he even checked Kali he tried and keep him away for such long time so people can live happily, but due to the happenings of the time, it had to happen. But we know what great activities Parikshit Maharaj has done. And here Prabhupada has given wonderful example of Maharaj Prataprudra. As we all know that he always wanted to serve Lord Chaitanya and see him, but it was not very easy for him to get the association or darshan initially of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because Gauranga Mahaprabhu was not interested in seeing the king. This is not something saintly devotees do. And the second paragraph here, someone wants to read that? Okay, I will read it. Maharaj Parikshit was, of course, a different case. He was a great devotee, although a king, and therefore Shukdev Goswami came to see him in his last stage of life. Maharaj Parikshit, out of his devotional humility, felt himself an unworthy descendant of his great Kshatriya forefathers, although he was as great as his predecessors. The unworthy sons of the royal orders are called Kshatrabandhavas. or as the unworthy sons of the Brahmanas are called Dvijabandhus or Brahmabandhus. Maharaj Parikshit was greatly encouraged by the presence of Shukdev Goswami. He felt himself sanctified by the presence of the great saint, whose presence turns any place into a place of pilgrimage. Yeah, so we can see here that just when pure devotee turns up and he is there, just taking his association is purifying us. His demeanor, his presence, his own purity rubs on us, and then that sanctifies us. Just like we know, it says here, when we go to the holy places and take bath in holy river, it will cleanse our holy reactions. But when we take association of pure devotees, what happens? Because of their consciousness, the Krishna Katha they speak will purify our mind. So it will remove our sins and sinful propensities as well. That is why these great devotees are personified holy places. Wherever they go, they are like dham. They are visiting us for our benefit. They speak Krishna Katha, and it is a great fortune that Parikshit Maharaj considers this his great fortune, that he is now going to hear for 7 days and 7 nights Srimad Bhagavatam from Shukdev Goswami himself. How fortunate is that? So that's what is going to happen now. And even in the third canto, Vidura says this. He is speaking to Maitreya Muni, to Uddhava here, and he is saying that, oh Uddhava, because the servants of Vishnu, the Lord, they wander in the interest of serving others, it is quite fit that you kindly describe the self-knowledge with which you have been enlightened by the Lord himself. So we know this comes in third canto and also in the later on in the 11th canto, where we know that Prabha Kshetra, all the half portion, the residents of Dwarka, they are demigod parts, and half of them are the Nitya Siddhas, the eternal associates of the Lord. So Krishna knew that when he is about to leave this world, these Devata portions, they will not be able to bear that Krishna has left them, and they will create quite a problem. And at the same time, they were also becoming little proud that they were connected to Krishna and they belong to Krishna's family. And there, due to many such reasons, the Prabhashetra pastime takes place, and then they all kill each other. They get intoxicated, and that's how that Leela ends. And then Krishna sits at this banyan tree, and then there Uddhava comes and he hears Uddhav Gita from Krishna. And then Vidura knows that Vidura later also, we know, simultaneously is being checked out of the palace by Duryodhan, that you need to leave because you are not in our favor. He says many ill things. We have seen that already in this canto. And so Vidura sees this as an opportunity to hear Harikatha. So he leaves the palace, and when he goes in this yatra, he meets Uddhava, and there he says this verse: Gnanam param swatma prakasham yadaha yogeshwara ishwaraste vaktum bhavanor yad adhi vishnor bhrutyasva bhrutyartha kritascharanti. So the servants of the Lord, what they do, they have only one interest in serving the Lord. How? By giving the knowledge of self-realization to everyone. They wander the earth just wanting to give this knowledge. And what is that knowledge? What is that self-realization knowledge? I am not this body, I am the soul. And what is my relationship with the Lord? I am servant of the Lord. And Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is called self-realization, knowing our relationship with the Lord, knowing our true identity, which is not what this body is accustomed to. This body has many roles and designations. but that's not our true identity. Our true identity is Gopi Bharatur Pad Kamalayor Das Dasanu Dasa. Na ham vipro na chanarapate, right? Na pi vaishyo na shudro. So, yes, that knowledge we have forgotten. So, what these great souls do out of compassion, they travel the earth, and wherever they go, they give this knowledge. So, this is what Shukdev Goswami is also doing here. And in that connection, I had thought about putting this verse here. Okay, this beautiful purport as well. The servants of the Lord are actually servants of society. They have no interest in human society other than to enlighten it in transcendental knowledge. They are interested in imparting knowledge of the relationship of the living being with the Supreme Lord, activities in their transcendental relationship, and ultimate goal of the life. That is the real knowledge, which can help society achieve the real aim of human welfare. Knowledge in the matter of the bodily necessities is eating, sleeping, mating, and fearing, transformed into various branches of advancement of knowledge, is all temporary, right? All of this knowledge is temporary because this body is temporary as well. This role and designation is temporary. And this will also vanquish one day. This body will die, it will go, but the soul, the subtle body within, and the soul within that, sorry, the subtle body is mind, intelligence, false ego, and within that also there is the spirit soul that is permanent. So we need to feed the soul with this knowledge. A living being is not the material body but an eternal part of the supreme being, and thus revival of his self knowledge is essential. Without this knowledge the human life is baffled. Servants of the Lord, Vishnu, are entrusted with the responsible work, and so they wander over the earth and to all other planets in the universe. Thus, the knowledge which was received by Uddhava directly from the Lord deserves to be distributed in human society, especially to persons like Vidura, who are highly advanced in the devotional service of the Lord. Then there is another very beautiful verse today. येषां संस्मरणात् पुंसां सद्य शुद्ध्यन्ति वैग्रहा किं पुनर्दर्शनस्पर्शा पादशौचसनादिभिः. Simply by our remembering you, our houses become instantly sanctified. And what to speak of seeing you, touching you, washing your holy feet, and offering you a seat in our home. So here we can see again that Parikshit Maharaj, how humbly says that just by remembering you, Shukdev Goswami, our home is purified. Can you see how powerful this statement is? We are sitting in our home and we think of a pure devotee in a very affectionate manner, then our home will get purified completely just by thinking of a pure devotee. So, just if the remembrance of pure devotee can have such a powerful effect, then what to speak about the effect of taking darshan, seeing a pure devotee, sparsha, touching such a pure devotee, and pada shauchana, even washing their holy feet and welcoming them into our home, what great effect that will have. So, this is the great effect of welcoming pure devotees into our homes with a very grateful heart. So, when such devotees come to our house as guests, we should understand that we are totally blessed. We have been blessed and we are given these blessings that they actually came because they have no interest in householders' opulence. They have the only interest is to uplift our Krishna consciousness. The importance of holy places of pilgrimage is due to the presence of great sages and saints. It is said that sinful persons go to the holy places and leave their sins there to accumulate. But the presence of the great saints disinfects the accumulated sins, and thus the holy places continue to remain sanctified by the grace of the devotees and saints' presence there. Yeah, so we can see Prabhupada is saying that these holy places, the saints are holy places personified, and they who have the power to remove our sins and sinful reactions by their presence. If such saints appear in our homes of worldly people, certainly the accumulated sins of such worldly enjoyers become neutralized. Therefore, holy saints actually have no self interest with householders. The only aim of such saint is to sanctify the houses of the householders, and the householders therefore should feel grateful when such saints and sages appear at their doors. A householder who dishonors such holy orders is a great offender. It is enjoined, therefore, that a householder who does not bow down before a saint at once must undergo fasting for the day in order to neutralize the great offense. Yes, I read this also somewhere, that when we take darshan of a holy person, of a devotee, senior devotee, we must bow down immediately. We must pay respects with our body, mind, and words if possible. If we fail to do so, then we must fast for one day. Otherwise, we will get the reaction of that sin. So it is best to bow down with humble heart when we take darshan of a great devotee. So here again, we can see there is a very, very nice verse and purport in this connection. Okay, in the next verse we can discuss that. Here there is in connection, in the 10th canto, we will see that Gargamuni, he visits Nanda Maharaj when it is name giving ceremony of Lord Krishna, and there also the same theme is there. That's why I took this verse. महद्विचलं नॄणां गृहीणां दीनचेतसां निःश्रेयसाय भगवन् कल्पते नान्यथा क्वचित्. O my Lord, O great devotee, persons like you move from one place to another. Who says this? Nanda Maharaj to Gargamuni. Not for their own interest, but for the sake of poor-hearted grihasthas. Otherwise, they have no interest in going from one place to another. If the time permits, then we should try and read the purport of this verse. It's a very beautiful purport also, completely in connection to today's verse. And the last verse is Sannidhyate Mahayogin Patakani Mahantyapi Sadyo Nashyanti Vaipumsam Vishnuriva Suretaraha. Just as the atheist cannot remain in the presence of the personality of Godhead, so also the invulnerable sins of a man are immediately vanquished in your presence, O saint, O great mystic. See, we can see here that how Parikshit Maharaj is so happy to take darshan of Shukdev Goswami. So only genuine people, genuine devotees can acknowledge great souls. Like we can see in the pastime of Nalakuver and Manigriva. What happened there? Even Narad Muni, who is a great soul, he appears, but they completely could not acknowledge the presence of this great soul. They, in fact, got very irritated. They were intoxicated, and they were contaminating the holy place, in fact, associating with other people there taking bath, and they got irritated. They did not acknowledge Narad Muni, they did not pay obeisances, and we know what happened then is that they were cursed to become trees. But here we can see how a humble devotee acknowledges the presence of a great soul, and he pays his dandvat, he is grateful, he welcomes, and he speaks such sweet words in the welcome, and at the same time with a very humble heart, with great gratitude, he welcomes. That's what, but for that, one also needs purity in the heart to acknowledge a great soul and respond in this way. That happens when one has some purity as well. There are two classes of human beings, namely the atheist and devotee of the Lord. The devotee of the Lord, because of manifesting godly qualities, is called a demigod, whereas the atheist is called a demon. The demon cannot stand the presence of Vishnu, personality of Godhead. The demons are always busy in trying to vanquish personality of Godhead, but factually, as soon as the personality of Godhead appears by either his transcendental name, form, attributes, pastimes, paraphernalia, or variegatedness, the demon is at once vanquished. So we can see here that when there is a presence of Lord Vishnu, asuras or demons cannot stay. In the same way, in the presence of pure devotee, sinful desires and sinful reactions cannot stay. Can one even think sinful things when they are in the presence of pure devotee? No. We will not get such bad thoughts. That is the effect of presence of pure devotee on us. It is said that a ghost cannot remain as soon as the holy name of the Lord is chanted. The great saints and devotees of the Lord are in the least of his paraphernalia, and thus, as soon as a saintly devotee is present, ghostly sins are at once vanquished. That is the verdict of all Vedic literatures. One is recommended, therefore, to associate only with saintly devotees so that worldly demons and ghosts cannot exert their sinister influence. So, this is the safest way that let's associate with saintly devotees of the Lord. Then what will happen is that we will be safe. We will be purified. We will not get any ill thoughts. And at the same time, we ourselves will also have good thoughts and we will be purified. So there is this, we have few minutes and there is a beautiful purport here. If anyone wants to read, this is the shloka I mentioned in connection with Nand Maharaj and Gargamuni. Anyone would like to read the first paragraph?
Hare Krishna Mataji, can I read?
Yes, please, Rupa Mataji, thank you.
Thank you. As factually stated by Nand Maharaj, Garga Muni, being devotee, had no needs. Similarly, when Krishna comes, he has no needs, for he is Purna, Atmaram. Nonetheless, he descends to this material world to protect the devotees and vanquish miscreants. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam. This is the mission of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and devotees also have the same mission. One who executes this mission of Paropkar, performing welfare activities for people in general, is recognized by Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as being very, very dear to him. Na cha tasman manusheshu kaschin me priya kritamaha. Similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has advised this Paropkar, and he has specially advised the inhabitants of India. Bharat bhumite hoilo manushya janma jar, janma sarthaka karo kari para upkar. One who has taken his birth as a human being in the land of India, Bharatvarsh, should make his life successful and work for the benefit of all other people. Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 9.41. On the whole, the duty of a pure Vaishnava devotee is to act for the welfare of others. Nanda Maharaj could understand that Garga Muni had come for this purpose and that his own duty now was to act according to Garga Muni's advice. Thus he said, "Please tell me what is my duty." This should be the attitude of everyone, especially the householder. The Varnashrama society is organized into 8 divisions: Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas. Nanda Maharaj represented himself as Grihanam, a householder. A brahmachari factually has no needs, but grihis, householders, are engaged in sense gratification. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita 2.44, Bhogeshwarya Prashaktanam Taya Parhita Chetasham. Everyone has come to this material world for sense gratification, and the position of those who are too attached to sense gratification and who therefore accept the Grihastha ashram is very precarious. Since everyone in this material world is searching for sense gratification, Grihasthas are required to be trained as Mahat, great Mahatmas. Therefore, Nanda Maharaj specially used the word Mahad Vichalanam. Garga Muni had no interest to serve by going to Nanda Maharaj, but Nanda Maharaj, as a Grihastha, was always perfectly ready to receive him. received instructions from a Mahatma to gain the real benefit in life. Thus, he was ready to execute Garga Muni's order. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Rupa Mataji, for reading that. Yes, I really like that purport very much. And that's why I thought that we should read in connection to today's verses. So thank you so much for letting me speak something in glorification of today's beautiful verses. And if anyone wants to add anything, any reflection or any question, if we'll see, it's 8:47 already. If there is nothing, then we can end the call. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam Grantraj, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Krishna Vrinda ki jai. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mataji, for your wonderful,
Mataji.
wonderful class.
Yeah, it was
Hare
wonderful.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Divya Gaurangi. Thank you so much for your wonderful class. Thank you.
Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
for all the
Hare
excellent
Krishna, Mataji, very wonderful class. Thank you so much.
Hare
Beautiful
Krishna.
lectures.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Vancha
Thank you,
kalpatarusha
Patalisya
Wonderful.
kripa sindhu evacha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Thank you, Mataji. Wonderful class. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.